Hey guys, it's Mr. Chase again here, and today's lesson is going to be about angles, angle relationships, getting a little bit deeper into this whole idea of angles and the relationships we can have with them. So of course when you're watching one of my videos, 4 key things, right? Listening and not just hearing. Make sure you're actively doing something. Stop or pause the video when you need to, and then watch it multiple times. Do that if that's going to help you out. Okay. Today, we're going to be able to understand parallel lines cut by a transversal. That's our objective. Understand the angles that are created with parallel lines cut by a transversal. Now, here's a vocab list. Supplementary, vertical, exterior, interior, corresponding, alternate interior angles, and one more down here, it's alternate exterior angles. What I want you to do is I want you to pause the video. I want you to write these down because it's part of your ticket out the door to get definitions for these angles. So do that now and then come back and watch the rest. Okay, I hope you paused the video and wrote these down. Let's see if we can get into some of these. So parallel lines, we already know what those are. Lines that are never going to touch. They're always the same distance from each other. A transversal is simply just a line that cuts over the 2 parallel lines. Okay? It could be like that. It could be 2 parallel lines. It could be cut this way. Okay? It could be 2 parallel lines cut like this. Okay? But the transversal is that line that goes over the top of them. Okay? And when you cut 2 parallel lines with a transversal, you create 8 different angles. If you look up here, this little intersection creates 4 different angles. This one down here creates 4 different angles as well. So there's 8 total angles, right? If that transversal cuts over those parallel lines at a 90 degree, then we have this picture, okay? All of the angles, 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're all going to be 90. 5, 6, 7, and 8, they're all going to be 90, okay? But sometimes it cuts through at an angle that is not 90 degrees, okay? And we get all of these angle relationships created in here. I'm going to give you a big picture, right? I'd like you to write this one down, draw this one, put your numbers where I have them, and then we'll talk about them, okay? Okay, so hopefully you have your picture, all right, all drawn out, 1, 2, 3, 4 going down the front side, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 going over here, okay? The first types of angles I want to talk about are the interior and the exterior. Okay? The interior angles are just the angles that are on the inside of the parallel lines. So 2 and 3, 6 and 7, those would be considered interior angles. 4 and 8 and 1 and 5 are going to be exterior angles, okay? On the outside of the parallel lines. So they're exterior angles, inside and outside, okay? Then we have something like supplementary. Okay, well there's lots of supplementary pairs here. All of these angles that are next to each other are creating supplementary pairs. Okay, 7 and 8 are also making a supplementary pair. 3 and 4 are making a supplementary pair. All right, 6 and 5, they're creating a supplementary pair right here. So are 1 and 2. Okay. So we have a lot of supplementary pairs. We have a lot of vertical angles as well, right? Vertical angles are across from each other when 2 lines intersect. Remember I came up here with my yardsticks before, right? When 2 lines intersect, right? This little angle and this little angle, those are vertical. They're going to be equal to each other, right? So that happens all over the place in this picture. 4 and 7, those are vertical, okay? 3 and 8, those are vertical. Right? The ones we haven't mentioned. 1 and 6, those are vertical angles. Okay? Angles that are across from each other when 2 lines intersect. There's the definition for it. Okay? So we've talked about supplementary and vertical and interior and exterior. Now I want to get into the 3 that we haven't, which are corresponding alternate interior and alternate exterior. Okay? All 3 sets of those angles are equal angles. Okay? They're all equal to each other. Corresponding angles have to do with having the same placement in the intersection. So if you look at this intersection up here, right, where the green line and the black line are intersecting, The angle, angle 1 is the upper left angle. Angle 1 is the upper left. Its corresponding angle would then be the upper left angle from the lower intersection. Okay, it has the same placement. Upper left is 1. Upper left is still 1. Okay, or excuse me, 3 here, corresponding angles. Okay, so if this were, let's just say 60 degrees, okay, angle 3 would also be 60 degrees. Corresponding angles are equal. Now let's talk about the angle that's next to number 1. Well, then this would have to be 120 because we know it's supplementary. Okay, this whole thing makes the half circle. Well, that tells me down here the upper right angle, the upper right. 7, which is its corresponding angle with angle 5, is also going to be 120 degrees. Okay, corresponding angles. Well, how much is angle 6? Well, angle 6, it has a relationship with the 1. They are equal to each other because they are vertical angles. Well, that tells me down here then, according to corresponding, the lower right-hand angle is 6. The lower right-hand angle is 8. So this is also going to be 60. Okay, corresponding. And I'm sure you've guessed it by now, angle 4 is going to be 120 degrees for lots of reasons, right? It's vertical with this, it's supplementary with this, but more importantly, it corresponds with this angle, which is going to be 120. It's the lower left-hand angle in the intersection, and so is this down here is the lower left-hand angle. Okay? So corresponding angles are equal to each other, and they have the same placement, right? Let's talk about alternate interior and alternate exterior then, okay? So if you looked at that picture carefully, you notice that this was a 60 and so was this. This was a 60 and so is this, okay? We had our 120s in red here, okay? But there's another type of angle that's called alternate interior. So they're inside angles inside of the two parallel lines, but they're on alternating sides of that transversal, okay? So right here, 6 and 3, those are considered AIA, alternate interior angles, because they're equal to each other, and they're on the inside of the parallel lines, but on opposite sides, AIA. There's a second pair of AIA angles here. It's going to be angle 2 and angle 7. Those are going to be equal to each other. AIA, alternate interior angles, are going to be equal to each other. Okay? We should piggyback off of that and do our alternate exterior then. Alternate exterior are going to be on the outside of our parallel lines, but they're going to be on opposite sides. So this angle 8 here is on the opposite side and exterior with angle 1. So angle 1 is going to equal angle 8, all right, because they are alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior. Same with our other pair of alternate exterior. Angle 4 is going to equal angle 5, and the reason why, alternate exterior angles. Okay? So that's the vocabulary behind this. Let's see if we can take a look at a problem that you might see on a test or a quiz or maybe even a state exam. Okay? It says, find the measurements of angles 2 through 8 if the measure of angle 1 is 40. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put 40 in for my number 1 angle. And I'm going to try to fill in some others. So let's go through this. Supplementary. Well, I know that angle 1 and angle 5 are supplementary. That means this must be 140, okay? But now that I know those two measurements, everything else in the picture should be either 40 or 140, okay? So let's go vertical to angle 1 is angle 6. That's got to be a 40, okay? Vertical to angle 5 must also be a 140, okay? So all of those angles up there I have so far. They're either 40 or they're 140. Now, angle 3. Well, that corresponds with the 1. Has the same placement. It's upper left. Down here, it's upper left. That's got to be a 40. Okay? Well, let me check right here. 3 and 6, they are supposed to be equal because of alternate interior angles, so I know that those are right. Okay? Angle 8, let me skip to angle 8 for a second. Angle 8 is also going to be 40. Okay? It's an alternate exterior pair with angle 1. They're supposed to be equal. Okay? Angle 5 is 140. That means angle 4 is going to be 140 because they're an alternate exterior pair of angles. Okay? Now angle 7, the only one that I don't have on here. It's going to have to be, well, a couple of reasons. It's going to be 140. It's vertical with angle 4. It's an alternate interior angle with angle 2. It's supplementary with angle 3. Lots of reasons here. Or it's corresponding to angle 5. I could have said any of those as my evidence to the reason why. Okay? As soon as I know 40 and 140, though, the rest of the relationship should fill right in. All the rest are either 40 or 140. Okay? All right, parallel lines cut by a transversal. Find the measurements of angles 1 through 7 if the measurement of angle 8 is 72, and give evidence to support your answers. Okay, let me scoot this down a little bit. We already know that angle 8 is 72. Well, I'm going to go through, I'm going to fill in all these angles and then give evidence. So angle 3, I'm going to say it's 72. Okay? Now, why is it 72? Well, it's vertical with the 8. It's vertical with 8. Okay? Any other 72s? Well, I know 6 is going to be 72. Okay? Now, why is it 72? Because it has the same placement in the intersection as 8. It corresponds. Okay? 72, 72, 72. Angle 1 has to be 72. And why? Well, I could say it's vertical to 6. I could say it's corresponding with 3, but because alternate exterior are my favorite, I'm going to go with that one. It's alternate exterior angles with 8. Okay? Alternate exteriors. Okay, we'll have the other side of this to fill in then. So I'm going to start off with 1, that's going to be supplementary. 180 minus 72 is 108. So angle 4 has got to be 108. Why? Because it's supplementary. With 8. Okay. 7. That's got to be 108. Vertical with, right? When those two lines intersect up here, it's vertical with 4. Okay, these are my evidence. I'm giving evidence of why. 5 and 2. Well, I know they're both going to be 108s. And let's see if I can give a reason why. So angle 2 is because it's an alternate interior angle with 7. Alternate interior. Inside the parallel lines, and they're on opposite sides. Angle 5, 108 degrees. I'm going to go with my favorite again. It's an alternate exterior angle with angle 4. Okay? Alright, all the angle measurements, evidence to support why. If you need to pause it and go over some of these reasons and write these down, I would do that. And walk yourself through them. Why is this vertical with 8? Well, look at 3 and 8. Okay, they're opposite each other. So do that. Pause it if you need to, and come back and do the ticket in the door in just a minute. Okay, here's what they want you to do to get in the door for class tomorrow. Okay, complete the definitions for the vocabulary terms at the beginning of the video. So we wrote those down when you paused. Now go back through and see if you can write those definitions for that. Then also it says, find the measures of angles 1 and then 3 through 8 if angle 2 is 105. So go through. And they want to see if you can give evidence why each angle is that measurement by using those vocab terms, just like we did. Okay? Pause it, make sure you get that information down. And of course, whenever you're watching a video, make sure you're doing something while you do it. Okay? Pausing or stopping is probably the best thing you could do. And if you didn't take any notes the first time and you're about to watch it for a second time, awesome. Watch it multiple times. The more you hear it, the more you'll know it. Okay? Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.